like I said, the way we're doing this is we're studying classrooms where we think it's happening. And what I'd like to do now is share some of the findings from those classrooms. And I'm going to involve you in that by having you be critical friends to that. The last piece I just want to note, because I think a lot of us, especially when we're educators, we're thinking about what do my kids need to be able to do by the end of the year. When we study these classrooms and ask, what are those teachers and students, like Pooja and her students, but imagine that we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of examples like that. And we say, forget about what the Ministry of Education is asking for. What are they valuing? What kind of growth do they want to see? We see these 4 patterns. Proficiencies, which absolutely is academic achievement and reading and writing and math, right? Pooja's students, they grew dramatically in their reading skills and their writing skills. There's no doubt that's there. But you know what else we hear from those students and those teachers and the families around them? They're saying, look, we value our students' growing awareness of their own assets, challenges they're going to face in the world. We hear them saying, we value our students' growth in dispositions. Are my students more likely to work hard when things get hard, right? They're resilient. And that last one, this one's so big, I just can't tell you how striking it is to visit a classroom in India and Ecuador and in Baltimore and in Chile and in France and have almost the same thing said to me, which is we value our students' growing agency, their ownership of being able to see problems and solve them. These teachers say that's as important as the reading and writing. In fact, that's how we get to the reading and writing, is through growing our students' agency. What's striking to me about these outcomes is that so often the teacher rubrics, some of them I have helped design, get to proficiencies at the expense of those other outcomes, not because of those other outcomes. And what we're going to do today is we're going to ask ourselves, I'm going to share with you some of the patterns in classrooms where, from what we can see, students are growing in these 4, I'm going to call them student leadership outcomes, all together. A little bit of a footnote, if this triggers your interest, you can go to the Global Learning Lab website, which we can share, and we have a repository that we've collected of ways all around the world that people are using to measure these things. How do I know that my students' awareness is growing? Well, there's some student surveys, people are trying this, trying that. There's no magic assessment, but these teachers are not just, saying it's awareness and I don't know. They can make an argument that my students' agency is growing and here's how I know. And I think that the more that we hold ourselves accountable to growing these kinds of student leadership outcomes, the more they help us learn what it takes to get to them. And that's where we're about to head.